Welcome back to the celebration. It's Alex Belfield talking to the stars of the cruise, and of course the big man in charge is Captain John. How are you?
Very well, Alex. Very good morning.
Nice to see you, and thank you for such a lovely week. I mean, we've been on the bridge, we've seen you dock, we've been watching you entertain the crowds, we've seen you shake hands. I mean, you are the master of the ship in a way. You're the man that's responsible for everything, and when you pass the corridor, people want to shake your hand. You're a PR man as much as a captain, aren't you?
It's a very, very important part of the job, and I think if you don't enjoy meeting people, getting out with the guests, then it's really not the right job for you, and it's an aspect of the job I very much enjoy. The ship handling is great fun. It's something that I do take a pride in, but also like to get out to meet the guests and get around the ship, and that's very enjoyable as well.
And everybody wants to meet you. There's a certain protocol, isn't there, about cruising, and you're the big man in charge, and they dream of getting on your table, and they dream of meeting you. There's some great old-fashioned values about cruising.
I think there are. I think cruising has changed quite a bit, though, fairly recently. I think people do have sort of preconceived ideas before they come, particularly with Thomson cruises, where we do have a more informal style of cruising, but we keep the formal aspects of the gala night, the captain's reception as well, which I think adds a nice touch to the cruise. But you're quite right. It's nice to have a nice group of guests on the table. Very, very enjoyable indeed. But it's nice to get out and meet everyone at the gala night as well. Yeah.
Been a fascinating week for me seeing how many people are involved on this ship. I mean, there's over 500 staff, something like that. It's incredible. You have to have medical teams, you have to have engineers, you have to have people who can get the ship in and out of port, you have to get people who cook. I mean, it's a huge operation, this, isn't it?
It is, you're quite right. Actually, today we've got 534 officers, staff and crew, 25 different nationalities, all working together. And you're quite right. A lot of it's behind the scenes. You don't see all the crew out on decks all the time, but it should appear to be a well-oiled machine. I believe it is. But it's a big team involved. Lots of officers responsible for each of their individual departments, making sure they're ticking along nicely. But I think, as you've seen, hopefully this week, Alex, it's been quite a smooth cruise indeed. Absolutely
nothing going wrong at all, and the staff couldn't be more nice. That's what amazes me. I mean, they remember your name, and not just my name because I'm here doing a review. They genuinely seem to care, and they've always got a smile, which can't be easy week after week after week.
No, that is an excellent point. I think if you did come back to cruise with us again in the future, you'll see that there's a lot of familiar faces, because we have the retention rate that we have with the staff is very, very high indeed. And I do believe that you can't pay people to enjoy their work. If they enjoy their work, it shows, and I think our crew really do enjoy what they do, and that's what gives the ship the rather nice atmosphere that she has.
Being here for a week has been so enjoyable, coming in and out of port. When you've done this 17,000 times like you have, do you get claustrophobic? Do you just want to get off occasionally? What is it like?
Not at all, actually. It's interesting. Even though, particularly the Red Sea Magic cruises, we're on the same itinerary, but we do find that it's different weather conditions, different challenges as we come in and out of each of those ports of call. It's never the same circumstances. There's always new projects and new things happening. So that element, it doesn't become repetitive. But in terms of popping ashore, absolutely. I'm a very keen diver. So every now and again I'll pop ashore in Aqaba for a little bit of diving and take some time out if I can. But yeah, popping ashore occasionally, but it's not as repetitive as you may think it would be.
I couldn't do your job because I'd be the fattest captain in the world. I'd be 37 stone. You can get food on this ship 24 hours a day. Is it really necessary to have a buffet open at 3 a.m. in the morning, and who's going?
You may ask that question, but I think if you pop up to Liberties and a bit of a disco up there, and then you see what happens after Liberties closes, then it's quite a popular buffet indeed. But no, you're quite right, 24 hours of food a day. I have the same problem, Alex. I'd be very, very careful, and I try and go for the vegetarian option whenever I can, and that keeps me out of the gym, for the moment at least.
And of course, you have a gym, you have 3 or 4 restaurants, you've got the bar, Liberties, which is the more fun bar, and then you've got the quiet bar where you can just sit and relax. That's Hemingway's. You've got the library where you can sit quietly and read a book. You've taken care of everything on board. There's a cinema as well. It's incredible.
It's in terms of modern cruise ship design, we are one of the smaller vessels really operating, but I think that's in addition to the facilities we do have on board, which you've highlighted there, I think the atmosphere that we have, because of the size of the ship, the fact that the crew will get to know you during your week's cruise, they will know your name, and you're also going to meet other guests on board that you might stop and chat to and make some friends during the cruise. And I think that really only happens on this particular size of vessel, and I think that's one of the nice things about cruising on a ship that's the size of the Celebration, where we've got around about 1,200 guests, around about 530 crew, and that's a nice ratio, I believe, in that it makes it more of a personal experience.
Every night there's a show from your own entertainments team. There's 7 shows across the week. They do it twice nightly. I've never seen such passion and dedication. They really want to be there, and it is their Broadway stage, isn't it? They genuinely seem to believe that this is it. How do you instill that enthusiasm in them? Because I've seen people in the West End who really don't care.
That's an interesting question, and as I'm sure you're familiar with, Alex, we have many different companies working together in partnership to make the cruise happen. And our entertainments company actually is Peel Holdings, and they really are fantastic in what they provide on the entertainment side. And it's not unknown for some of our dancers to disappear off to the West End, so there is that transfer. But they are very motivated. They do work very, very hard indeed. They're working quite long contracts. But I think, again, they do enjoy their work. It shows, and the guests certainly enjoy those shows as well.
Captain John, thank you very much for talking to me.
Been a pleasure. Thanks again.